Thanks for checking out Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. This week, I'm joined by blues guitarist extraordinaire Jackie Venson, as well as comedians Caitlin Gill and Carlton Wilcoxson. We getting into some weird shit, man. I mean, there's nudity and Christmas cookies that are tearing a family apart. Just give it a listen. I'm so happy. I get to see three of my favorite people here in the face. I've said that every episode, but that's who I book. My favorite fucking people, because I get to do that. Let's go ahead and introduce people. Up first, Austin favorite, good buddy of mine, hilarious comic, Carlton Wilcoxson. What's going on, sir?
Oh, just over here, just trying to stay alive and, I don't know, not telling a lot of jokes. So,
yeah.
What is the meaning of life?
When's the last time you did a show? Have you done like post-pandemic shows?
Yeah. So actually, right before Thanksgiving, we did a charity drive for Central Texas at Buzzkill, where I had that weekly show at.
Yeah.
And so all the proceeds from that hour went towards Central Kitchen. We raised like close to $1,000.
That's dope.
So it was kind of cool. Of course, it's outside, but yeah, it's weird telling jokes because like it's weird telling jokes because you could tell people make an event out of it. It's like people are all dressed up and like trying to like mingle, and you could tell they got like big sex energy going on with them. So it's just like, yo, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be trying to flirt and shoot shots right now.
People haven't been out the house, so now they're just taking any opportunity they could get.
Yeah,
that sounds rough.
We did a good thing and a bad thing, if I'm being honest,
Speaking of live shows, the last time I stepped foot on stage was to co-host the Austin Music Awards with the next guest here, wonderful musician, guitarist, all-around kick-ass talent, Jackie Venson. What's up, girl?
Hey, what's up? That was not the last time.
Oh, you've done a bunch of shit. You're killing it. I haven't left my fucking house. Since then, you have had an Austin City Limits fucking taping. How the fuck was that?
It was fucking crazy, dude. And it was like, of course, this is when I get one. I should have always known. known. My whole career has been like this. I always like get the craziest shit, but it's like there was some other really crazy circumstance next to that crazy shit that led me to the crazy shit. Like that's how I got on the Late Show, like sitting in with the Late Show band 4 years ago. Yeah. I was like, like it wasn't like the good old fashioned way where, I'm cutting my teeth in New York and I meet these people and I'm in the band. It's like, no, I was just like in a hookah bar and the drummer just happened to film me. And then the guitar player also just happened to be sick that week. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I should have known that this was going to be the year I get a taping. I should have known. It's just obvious.
You still earn that shit. How is it doing a television show in a pandemic? Like, what is like, because I've done a couple of TV spots, whatever, and it's like small studio space, everybody's up on each other. What is it like to do one now? Like, that seems crazy. Now, obviously, it's bigger space than me, but you know what I'm saying.
It would have been like a lot more jarring if I wouldn't have like lost my mind and streamed every day for like 100 days. So like I was just so used to like playing alone in my room by the time I got to this taping. Cause like I did 50 days at the top of the quarantine and then I did an additional like 100 streams after that. And then I did the taping.
Whoa.
So yeah, I was like, oh, I got to go play in front of some cameras.
Okay. I guess I can hang that. There's going to be more than one person there? All right, cool.
I think I can swing that. Wait, there's going to be 13 people there. All right, that's going to be weird, but you know what? I can adapt. That's what it was like, man. It was just like weirdly business as usual by the time it came around.
Yeah. Well, that's fucking badass. I'm so happy for you. Your next guest? Who the fuck am I talking to? Sometimes you get too high before you start podcasting. Caitlin Gill is here. What's up, girl? How are you?
You are never high enough to podcast.
That's very true.
How are you in your RV?
I'm in an RV. Yeah, I have not done stand-up since March, I want to say 9th or 10th. but I don't remember much about anything that happened in that crazy week after. I was in Los Angeles, but yeah, not anymore. We got an RV and are tooling between family homes and have our little quarantine pod available. So we just took off and left. And I then decided, since comedy is I couldn't ask somebody, come laugh in each other's mouths because I want to talk to you. Like, it just doesn't feel.
It feels so weird. Hear me out. I don't want to shit on comics. I know a lot of comics that are like, I feel like there's a middle ground comic that I feel bad. Like, so if you're super rich and famous, why are you doing comedy? You're just being selfish. Right? You have money. Stop exposing people, right? And if you're doing a bar show for no money, go kill yourself. What are you doing? I see open mics happening and you're out of your mind. But there's a middle rung of comics who were like, just quit a day job, making a living doing comedy, but like not long enough to have a buffer. Those people, I feel bad for that.
Listeners can't see that I'm waving.
So waving, right?
That's where I feel bad. So like, even if you had made the decision to go try to do a show, you're in the window where we're in that window where I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
you like that. I understand that.
I get music is so healing, and like I have to wear sunglasses at concerts because I always cry. This is a known thing about me. I can't handle live music being performed. Like music in a movie always hits Sister Act 2, Sound of Music. I will weep. It's like reflects. It's just what my eyes do upon witnessing the performance of live music. So like I feel like music has a more vital place in what's happening right now. Whereas I am a comedian and I know the level of ego that I know why I'm on stage and it is for your enjoyment, but I'm also going to say I also really there's something that's just mine about it that I don't need, that I just can't, maybe it's the grass is greener, but yeah, I'm like, I can do, there's other options. I've never seen anybody weep at my performing of stand-up the way I've wept at every concert I've ever been to. So I guess,
I will say this. I agree with the top rung of comedians. It's like, come on, like, just stay home.
I love you, Dave. I love you, Dave, but like, you don't. Dave Chappelle, you got money. You don't have to go do stubs. He's doing stubs in Austin.
You don't have to do
that.
No, here's the thing. It made sense when he was just doing it on the outskirts of his own town. That you could just blame on boredom, but the tour,
Stop it.
No, but like, so I agree. And then the people who are like doing comedy for nobody in a bar, I'm like, so now you're doing it for nothing and you're risking.
And you're killing people.
This is like double not worth it. Okay, so I agree. But then that middle rung. Okay, so for the middle rung, there is an acceptable way to present yourself. Unfortunately, it requires like really special circumstances, and the tickets are usually like $200.
It's crazy expensive to pull off.
It's crazy expensive. And you know what? If you get a gig like that, and the venue is taking extreme precautions and the tickets are really high priced and it's like maybe outdoor, super limited private show, take it. Go make your money. But like, that's the only exception. Like the show has to be extra. Yeah, the show's got to be like extra responsible, and it's got to be extra. Like it has to match the circumstances that we're in, and then it's acceptable. But then, other than that, it's like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Also, Caitlin, you just cry at Wendy's as well as concerts.
And I just cry in the parking lot now instead of making for drive-thru workers actually witness it. No,
Caitlin,
because I love comedy. Oh, sorry, no.
You're good. Yeah.
With my whole heart, I know it's ego, etc., that I mentioned previously, but like I also love it enough to not do it right now. So I knew I needed to give myself something else to do, and like I did. I like started a business with my hands.
That's awesome.
So I put out an album last year, and I used the money that I've earned from that album to invest in my own means of production for customizing apparel, and I now make super kick-ass shirts and stuff, and can like see a future that I enjoy in it, which I haven't let myself do with anything that wasn't comedy in like 12 years. So that feels like super good, and I never would have done that if not for these circumstances. So I am not like, I enjoy my day-to-day and I hate why it's happening. So I'm very proud of what I've accomplished this year, and I wish I hadn't done any of it,
You're killing you softly.
There's one like I think
if we can find a benefit to that as comics, I think there is something to be said of like when you're doing stand up and you love stand up, you're so focused on it that you don't allow yourself any other outlets.
You know what I mean?
That when you stop, you kind of feel like you got out of a cult. I mean,
like
what?
A show
Sorry.
A little bit.
Podcasting here, everybody. Come on.
A little bit.
But also, it just like you stop. Okay, I can't do comedy. I have to do something. What else am I into? And you can like explore all these other things that previously that time would have went to like finding stage time or working on jokes or whatever. It has at least, I think there is some benefit to that. 200,000 people had to die for me to get into cooking, but whatever.
Dude, for real. I mean, honestly, you guys are just defining my year. Everyone's like, Jackie, how do you feel about all this great stuff happening to you? I'm like, hey, you remember where we are right now? Can you just like chill on can you just take me off Front Street for a second? And just like
that does feel like a bummer. Like, so we were talking about like, how you feel about like redistribution of wealth. I'm all about it, but could we have done it like 5 years ago when I was super broke? Like, I'm not rich, but I'm just got a little bit of money in my pocket now, and now I gotta like y'all could have done this before. Anyway, let's
I just
take
got
the Dolly
this money.
approach. Dolly could be a billionaire, but she's not because there's no ethical way to do that. Just more Dollys.
Yeah, we can just agree with Dolly for sure at all times.
What would Dolly do?
Indeed.
Oh shit! I gotta go make a T-shirt.
Yeah.
WWDD.
Literally, I think is that
not like double D's? Get it? It's boobs. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh god.
Because she
Sorry.
has big boobs.
Yo,
This is a
Bye, everybody. I'll go. I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
Shirt.
Caitlin's never doing comedy again. She's living specifically off the royalties of that shirt
for the rest of her life.
Good. Hell yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into some questions here, guys. Let's see. Where do we want to go first? This one. Okay, this is lighthearted and easy. Every year for the last 15 years or so, my husband's sister has sent us a huge box of homemade cookies for Christmas. My husband's from a large family. She does this for every family. I know it involves a great deal of time and effort on her part. She sends them via priority mail, which is an additional expense. The problem is we don't eat cookies. Weight is a concern for both of us, and I avoid sugar or sugar products as I don't believe they are healthy. Before we retired, we took the cookies to work to get rid of them, or they were thrown away. She asked her mother-in-law what to do as to not cause hard feelings. She says, don't say anything. She needs something to keep her busy. And then as my brother-in-law, how he handled the unwanted cookies, he said, throw them away or give them away, but don't tell her. My sister-in-law suffers from mild depression, and everyone tiptoes lightly around the issue to avoid upsetting her. I feel bad that she has spent time and money on these unwanted cookies all of these years. No one on that side of the family has ever said anything, and perhaps many of them enjoy the cookies. Evidently, even a carefully worded thank you, but we can't consume them note would cause family problems. I tried not sending an acknowledgement. The cookies kept coming. What is your suggestion? Signed, Sweet Problem in Connecticut. Guys.
Give them to homeless people.
All right, here's my one thing I have learned by starting this podcast and going through all of Dear Happy's catalog. People write in about the widest variety of issues on a spectrum from like child molestation to too many cookies. It's literally but to this woman, imagine how much this problem is affecting you. If you have to write a newspaper to figure out how to handle these cookies.
Chris, it's a lot of cookies.
This is like last straw kind of behavior. This is like final, like can't take it anymore behavior right now.
It definitely feels like she just doesn't like the sister. All right, let's just get that over with. I don't like you, your cookies. I don't even like your home. All right.
Yeah, it starts out cookie based, but by the time you get to, and nobody addresses her mild depression, it really has melted into something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, here's my question. I'm trying to pick a side. Am I on the cookie maker or the not cookie maker side? This lady puts me, first off, when I first read this letter, I was like, just fucking give the cookies away or throw them out or any number of things you can do with this cookie.
Give them to homeless people.
Give them to homeless people. This is literally not a problem. This is you have an abundance of a resource that is never a problem in this world, right?
Yeah.
But the more I read this letter, I don't know how, as the sister-in-law, if your whole family is sick of these cookies, which is what I'm starting to get from this, right? The mother-in-law is like, look, we all know we get a lot of just like, don't say anything. The other guy's like, don't tell her you're throwing the cookies away. I'm wondering how much of this problem is her, how much she knows she's a problem and refuses to address it.
What? How weird is that for like meeting a family, like for dating somebody? You're just like, look, we're gonna get these cookies. It's gonna be weird every time, every year. It's gonna be fine. I
just fucking throw away.
Don't bring it up. That's such a.
It took Carlton saying it for me to remember that I'm sitting in an RV outside of my in-laws' house. My perspective on this at the moment is sharp and keen, I would say. That
yes.
Every family we were actually, the sweet lady and I were talking about this last night, that every family just has things that they do that you don't know aren't what everybody does until you are in the wider world. In this house, there is a bread drawer. There's a drawer. And that's where bread goes. If you want a bread product, bagel, English muffin, sliced bread, bread of any kind, it is in the bread. No muffins go in the bread. That is not where muffins go. But bread goes in a bread drawer. Everybody here knows it. There's not an extended family member that wouldn't know to come over and look for bread in a drawer. And nobody, does anybody, listeners, do the three of you, anybody have a bread drawer? Is that a thing anywhere else?
Where do the muffins go? Hold on, we're coming back to Jackie in a second. Where do the muffins go?
On the counter for easy access. I will say that is just about being able to access the muffins with expediency in the morning when they are needed for a rapid snack. But when Kelly left home, she got roommates, she looked for the bread, like the drawer everybody's bread would go in, and was met with six eyes looking at her like, what? Bread drawer. When you come into a family, you find bread drawers. You find the things that only they do. And one of the things that this family does is have a gal that likes to give. She likes to give cookies. That's something she can afford to give, that she feels good about. Mm-hmm. So she gives them. I do feel the thing where it's like, hey, I avoid sugar and I watch my health, and this is clearly not a health food. That's fair. But like kale chips aren't going to travel as well. And like,
how about this?
Not a present. Also, kale chips are not like, that doesn't say like from my home to yours.
How about this?
Kale chips.
You know what?
Jackie?
This actually might be legitimately a good solution.
Mm-hmm.
He could like he or she, whoever's writing it, could lean into this, because this person who's making the cookies obviously kind of like needs this.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, hey, I can't have sugar. Do you think you can make me a special box? And then they could be like, hey, I need a special box because I'm gluten intolerant and I can't take the sugar. And maybe you could make one batch of the vegan version of these cookies that I wish so much that I could eat. And actually, it would be a double whammy. They could actually maybe try the cookies. And then if they're still gross, then it's okay. At least they like appease the family members. It's like it's a double win.
I like, because here's how petty of a person I am. I think maybe that suggestion came from like a good place, and my pettiness immediately was like, oh yeah, turn it around on that cookie bitch. I was like,
I'm putting this back on your
court. Now that's how I read that for sure.
I was right there. It was like, send her some cookies. Get a cookie war started, all right?
Did I bring too much heart to this conversation?
No, perfect. It does. It makes me address some issues that I have, but that's perfectly fine. Nowhere in this letter does anybody address if these are good cookies or not.
Yeah.
Which makes me think they are. I think they're good. I think they're good because if they were bad, that would come up in this woman's. Like, if they were bad, she'd be like, this bitch sending me these gross ass cookies every year or whatever. I think they're good cookies.
I don't know, man. I think the fact that everybody says don't say anything about the cookies is like the indicator that they could be bad. Like, this woman can't even take critique. Like, don't say anything about them. Just take them and do whatever you want with them, but don't tell her what you did with them. Like,
yeah, I can't get a read on this cookie maker. Is she making beautiful Christmas cookies that she loves making every year and it helps with her seasonal to mild depression? Or is this like, a the frowny face on a poorly mixed sugar cookie that comes every year with like a these are keeping me hanging on scrawled note in it. I can't tell.
These are keeping.
That's so funny.
I think there's a good chance. Like, let's address the cookie maker for a minute here. She needs some help. Yeah, that woman has If people are that concerned about talking about anything around her, that is a sign. And it's the whole family is like about. So clearly that woman kind of needs some help.
I know. And they're like not helping her. They're just sweeping it under the rug with the cookies.
That is my question. Now, part of it is, look, don't set her off. Let her make the cookies. She's not hurting anybody. But are you doing her a disservice by not addressing the bigger issue here?
Well, this sounds like a Rick and Morty episode where they like go to the dimension where they told her about the cookies, and then in that dimension she like killed herself, and they're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, well, no matter how much we tried to help her grow, she just ended up killing herself. So maybe we should have just lied about. Maybe we should have just lied about the fucking cookies.
Yeah, I would say if a box of cookies ends in suicide, too much on them cookies.
I've looked hard at the bottom of some boxes, but I haven't gone to that place.
I think it's like an onion. It's layers, and the cookie's a big layer of it. You know, like I think it's layers. You know,
I have to say, if I'm in a situation, I throw the cookies away, I give them to a neighbor. Cookies can be handled. If I'm in a situation where I have to approach this woman and say something, I just can't take another box of cookies showing up in my house. Give someone else's address. Tell her you moved. Like, there's a lot of options here, right? Just have those cookies show up at somebody else's door.
I'm not taking stranger cookies, though.
Hell no.
That's true. It's a shame that homemade cookies are immediately just like, what are you trying to do to me? Like, I don't, if I didn't see them being made, I'm immediately like, I'd have questions.
Honestly, like,
you're revealing something about me now. Look, we all
I'm like paranoid. No, I think you're revealing something about American society. I show up back at home and I see a package at my door. I'm like, did I order something?
Oh God.
Like I still freak out over like weird shit like that, man. It's weird.
Oh, like, do you remember like get back a while? I think it was during quarantine. I don't know. Time doesn't matter anymore. People were talking about those weird seeds showing up at people's houses. That was like on the internet, right? People were getting seeds from China or whatever. And I know people saw it and they were like, oh, I planted them to see what would happen. Are you out of your mind? My first thought was like, okay, this is somebody trying to frame me for drugs. Somehow I'm going to plant this and like it's going to be the world's first crack tree. And now I'm going to jail because I was curious about these seeds that showed up. But I'm not planting anything. You're very true. We can't be surprising packages on people in this day and age. Not in Austin.
No. Especially if it comes with like a really creepy note of like, "Hey, I really needed this. It helped me get through my day." Like, you're just like, "Oh no!"
Yeah. For sure.
I still think the cookies and this woman's depression are a separate issue, and it is easy to ignore these cookies. If these cookies make you reflect on the issue of how challenging it is to have a family member with a condition that is difficult for the rest of the family to express, I think that is a better place to put your focus and probably a more productive place. Even though it's like hard, these are tough problems, but the cookies aren't the problem. That's an ignorable problem. There is a root there, which seems to be mental health. Yeah,
there's a root there that they seem to not be able to ignore. In this thing,
or address head on.
Well,
Dear Abby letter, like my sister-in-law has mild depression that gets worse around the holiday season. That's not the letter. It's cookie based. So
it's cookie based.
Everybody's got some avoidance issues going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like they're not dealing with it, so it's like they're just paying for it in the form of cookies.
It makes me feel like the backstory is like super. It's just like there was just like a thing that they can't speak about, so they only talk about the cookies now. You know,
there was like one Christmas where she fucking lost it, and now no one talks about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. There was one Christmas where they tried to have an intervention, and they'll never do that again.
Yeah. Even everybody got real threatening cookies the next year. Knife-shaped cookies show up. Yeah.
Look,
I hope this is the only letter where I'm like, is this passively aggressively about me? As an aggressive Peter, I'm just like, should I not make those cookies, or what are you saying, Chris? This is about.
I don't know what your Christmas like gift giving family situation is. When I was growing up, there was like a small amount of extended family that you would exchange presents with. Mostly it was cards, but like there was a certain group that would like a couple of uncles or whatever, or cousins, whatever, that would get together and have Christmas. And one family that we all hated, my parents got into this petty gift giving competition, essentially. Not even a competition. One person gave a Christmas assortment of Planters nuts. It was like 4 cans in a cardboard sleeve. It had like the lights or whatever, right? Real shitty present. The next year, someone got the same thing from those people gave us now a box of Planters nuts. I was like, oh, okay, you did that on purpose. We both don't like each other. We're giving a petty comment.
It's war.
My parents re-gift the fucking nuts back the next year.
Right?
Oh
Same package, not even a new package of nuts, the same package of nuts. They drew a fucking thing on the bottom of the can, a package, like a line with a marker. Lo and behold, we get the same box back the following year. This went on for like 6 years until we just stopped seeing those people.
And nobody ever said anything.
Yeah. During the time, are you guys still doing the, oh, hey, here you go.
And that shit would be like, oh, look at that. Those nuts. Be like real bullshitty, that high voice lie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. You'd even check underneath to see the mark and be like, oh, you should have. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So do you guys, I can't imagine anyone has anything that shitty, but do you have like any sort of petty Christmas like rivalries? Okay. What you got, Jackie?
We do a white elephant. And so this is that thing. This is my bread drawer, by the way.
Okay.
I found out that people open the gifts on White Elephant as soon as they get them, and then you start the fighting over the gifts. We don't. So everyone doesn't know what they're fighting over, and it's way more entertaining. And then we all open it at the end.
You're fighting over wrapped boxes. I'm gonna steal that box. I'm gonna steal that box.
Based on what it looks like. One time we brought like a really big one in, and it was like triple wrapped, like. So it looked big, but it actually wasn't big. It was like a box and a box and a box. Everyone fought over that one. So we get petty with the white elephant stuff because like one will be a hot item. Everyone keeps like stealing it, with all their cards and with all their turns. And like then at the end we open it all up and there's always one, and it's this fish that goes on the wall and
the thing and the big mouth Billy Bass. Yeah.
It bleeds battery acid after like 3 years, and so you have to like buy a new one and replace it. Except for they stopped making them, and so now we just get them on eBay whenever the battery acid starts to foam up.
I love it.
But anyways.
But that seems like fun family shit. That seems like a good time. You know what I'm saying? You're not really trying to fuck somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a good time until someone opens the fish, and then that's when we found out that it's bleeding battery acid.
Let's see. One time my uncle gave me scratch-offs for Christmas, and I won $30, and then he made me give some of my money from that too. So now I just never like do the scratch-off in front of people.
Oh, that's hilarious. 30. Look, if it was 30,000, I'd be like, yo, my man, slide me a little something. But $30?
Yeah.
$30? That's crazy, man. You need to make a meme out of that, man.
How old were you?
I was like maybe 16, 17.
Yeah, you gonna give me a cut of that?
If you were like 8, it's like, what are you gonna do with $30? You're 8. I know how to use money, but you're a teen. You have to use $30.
What are you gonna do with $30? Like, give me $10.
Give me $10 right now.
Also, how bad is your uncle need $10? Like, your uncle's gotta be an adult. You're gonna ruin some kid's Christmas for $10?
I know, right?
I've been an adult for a long time, and I have often not had $10. So I will say that one's a roll of the dice, depending on when you catch it.
That's true. Respect.
All right, let's go on. I think this one's okay. Let's try this one. This one seems fun. My husband enjoys sitting around, among other activities, naked. We live in a subdivision with 700 homes. I have asked him repeatedly to stop, join a nudist group, or go home to his mother. Whatever. He says he's sorry, blah, 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 but it doesn't stop happening. The deputies have already visited to tell him to stop playing his ukulele while driving, and I'm afraid he'll get caught without a stitch on one day, and all hell will break loose. I realize how ludicrous this letter may sound, but I am being truthful. Am I crazy to expect him to stay clothed in semi-public? Signed, Teresa in the South.
There's so many things with this.
I got a lot of questions. She drops the ukulele while driving thing out of nowhere as if it's related to the nudity. So my first thought was, is he naked and playing the ukulele and driving? Because that's like a hat on a hat on a hat. But where is he naked? Is he in his house?
Apparently, at his mother's house, if that's an option, you know. Apparently, she raised.
How is his mother's house an option to go be naked at?
She just raised a little naked boy, you know. She's like, "That's my boy. He's always naked. I've always, I come in, I cook dinner. He comes to the table. He's naked. It's all good."
It's so weird. I have a couple of questions. One, where is he being naked? If he's in his house, you have a matter of you have to work something out with your wife, right? Or other husband. I don't know. It doesn't gender in this. Well, no, it's Teresa. So I'm going to go ahead and guess wife. But my point is, if it's just a matter of he likes being naked while he's at the house and I'm like, hey, can you put on some fucking pajama pants or something? That is a relationship issue that you have to work out boundaries. But if he's running around this 700 home subdivision naked,
that's illegal.
You have a criminal on your hand. You have a sex pest that you are dealing with.
Yeah. There's like children, I'm assuming, and like that's illegal.
I kind of have a solution for this. I think that like wherever he's at, you should just try to have like a portable cooking station and just make only bacon and just see how long he goes around without wearing clothes. You know, just everywhere he's just chilling in the backyard naked. It's like, oh, I'm making bacon right next to you, huh? Just like,
yeah. Just a hot plate of bacon is right next.
Just every time.
I'll train it. You'll get an apron on at least.
Perfect.
You know, just yeah.
I think, look, if you want to be naked in your own house, or if you just like being naked, I don't think there is anything wrong with that. Of course not. And who am I to judge anyway? I do think with sexuality of all kinds, and I think nudity in semi-public qualifies as something sexual.
Absolutely.
Like it's all about, in my opinion, like whether or not you're focused on what you'd like to bring to you, or whether or not you're trying to push something out onto other people. Like, if you feel good naked, if that makes you feel, if that brings you reward and that makes you feel satisfied or better, I think finding a way to accommodate that is appropriate. If you like other people seeing you naked without their consenting to it first, that's not necessarily cool thing to do.
Problem, right? You're
inflicting your nudity on other people who clearly don't want, or you're also, I would like to say, inflicting your fucking ukulele on people, which I also have a problem with. Like, there's nothing worse than when you're at the bar and some dude pulls out a fucking harmonica on the patio and you're like, can you just like, I've been a bouncer a lot, and I have like walked onto the patio and seen people just snort a rail of coke off the picnic table and been like, hey guy, you want to be a little subtle about that? You can chill, but just like be cool. But a harmonica, you're out. Fucking 86. No option. So that ukulele, that fucking bothers me. But you're 100% right. Obviously, this is a question of consent. My issue here is, where is this nudity happening?
I know they never say.
Right? They never say. She's upset about it, but like she says she's concerned he's like happening while he's driving. Also, did this happen randomly? Did this come on? You know what I mean? This feels like you've been married for at least some time, right? Assumably you dated for some time before that.
Is this happening then?
Yeah, did this nudity thing come out of nowhere? Did he have a head injury? I've been listening to too many true crime podcasts. So this immediately I'm like, oh, this is peeping, this voyeur to peeping Tom to fucking rapist serial killer. I'm just looking at the trajectory of every podcast I've ever listened to. So this dude makes me nervous is my point. It's not as cute. If you're a child, you ever see like a little kid who like hates having his pants on or her pants, whatever. Little kids love to just like run through a party naked. That's adorable. But if you're 38 and you can't keep yourself within somewhat the bounds of like the laws of the society we've all agreed to partake in, that speaks to a bigger issue. Not funny, but I just don't. I'll give you here. I'm sorry, I'm ranting a lot. When I was in 8th grade, there was a kid I went to junior high with who carried I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th grade, who brought a briefcase and he wore a suit to school every day. And he was in 8th grade. And everybody said, oh, that's really cute. And I said, no, that's fucking weird. And I don't mean to shit on the weird kid, but that behavior is abnormal. Someone should keep an eye on abnormal behavior because it can progress into other things. Lo and behold, years later, child porn. Just saying. I'm right about shit sometimes. He got busted for child porn. I'm just saying I can give names. That shit's already on. I don't know if I'm supposed to name names, but I can Google it. My point is, This is abnormal behavior to drive around naked playing a ukulele. Something's not clicking right. And there's a difference between fun, happy nudism. If he was like, oh, honey, I want to go join a nudist colony, cool. That is perfectly normal behavior to like you are.
But he refuses.
That's my issue. He's forcing this onto his wife repeatedly. That's my issue.
Yeah. He doesn't even he's not even trying to take it to where it can be healthy. Like nudism can be healthy if you take it the direction of going to a nudist colony or going to a nude beach or, taking things so where it's expected of that area or whatever. Yeah. See that's a healthy relationship with nudism, right?
Absolutely.
But just being naked on your front lawn and you don't have a fence or anything and you're just out there, no, dude, even just thinking about that, I couldn't even go out there in bra and underwear. I hardly could go out there in a swimsuit.
Yeah. That's men's problem. That's our fault. I don't mean we're putting that on a lot. I think women could go sunbathe a lot easier if men didn't live in the world. I don't think it would be as concerning of an issue. My other issue is his mom. Can we address the mom for a second?
Yeah, that is loaded to just punch in there mid letter.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, she buries the lead pretty insanely in this entire post.
Is the mother also a nudist? Is that something? Did he grow up in a hippie commune?
Why is his mom's house an option?
Because he's definitely stormed out. He's like, I'm out of here. If you're not respecting my body, and he definitely drove over to his mom naked, showed up, she accepted him, made him a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
It could be bleed over from the last letter, but I wonder if the mom and the wife had some conversation at some point where wifey brought it up, so was he not in the clothes when he was a kid? He is not in the clothes now. And mom was just yeah, welcome to the fam. We got a bread
welcome to the fam.
We got a bread drawer.
Oh yeah, that's our family's weird thing. They like to drive around naked.
We're all sick in the head, literally. We're all complete perverts.
Yeah. I think if we're going to solve this person's problem, either she's got to get with the nudity or he has to put on some pants and they all have to do it in their own fucking house. That's all. Or in appropriate locations.
Yeah.
And also, if we're going to give, good, bad advice, we also need the complete picture. Where the hell is he nude?
Yeah, that's the biggest question, obviously, is where this happening. Because if it's happening, if he keeps getting caught naked in other people's yards, you have a sexual predator on your hand.
To that, it's pretty fucking easy. Just let someone call the cops and just let him get arrested and just let that whole process happen. That's a pretty easy solution.
Is this 700 house subdivision that overpass in Florida that is the only place 200 meters away from every elementary school?
Where all those
I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, by the way, of course, that's in Florida. Just of course, that's in Florida.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else it could be.
The Florida man Google game.
I do say this all the time that Florida has sunshine laws so that their journalists get immediate access to police reports which other states don't access. So it's really easy when you need weird news to fill it by searching in Florida because you actually get information, because there is no way that Wyoming and Idaho and fucking North Carolina are not as weird. We just know a lot more about it because Florida is we have to tell you because it is weird here. So they're weird. I'm not saying they are.
Yeah, no,
Texas. We miss a lot of weird news because we don't report it as fast.
Dude, Texas is fucking huge. If we had something like that, Texas would be a nightmare state.
Yeah, for sure. We would. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And it kind of already is a nightmare state. I don't go outside of Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. I'm not hanging out in Nacogdoches. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. That sounds like a sundown town. I'm not going.
When I go on the road, I have very real rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't wear all black. I don't wear black pants and a black jacket. I don't wear all black. I usually have my hair up. And I usually and I love that we have mask culture now. It's so awesome. It makes me blend in even more, especially if I'm just wearing a black mask or something.
Yeah.
And just if I'm wearing a Buc-ee's hoodie, some jeans and a black mask, my hair's in a bun. That's my traveling outside of Austin blending in outfit.
You're in a ninja outfit for racism. You're just trying to hide.
I'm like
sure,
because I'm like really light skinned and I'm like, no offense, but like it's just how it is. Dark you are the really problem. So but my hair is really curly, so if I leave my hair down, then I get like people are like, what the. But if I put my hair up in a bun, it's not, you know what I mean? So like that's part of the disguise. I like put my hair up. I have like this Buc-ee's hoodie and like some sneakers, and I'm just like, don't look at me. You can't even see me.
Hi,
you don't even notice
I'm
me.
Stephanie. I'm waiting for my latte.
I'm just getting this gas, and now I'm the fuck out of here. Bye. That's my road outfit, man.
Here we go. Next letter. This one, we want to talk about petty. This is a short one, but I enjoy it. It's weird. My husband of 28 years had a bone marrow transplant, and 6 months ago, he learned who his donor was. He now wants to meet up with the person. Turns out it was a woman. I'm not usually a jealous person, but it's all he ever talks about every single minute of the day. He wants to meet her 2 hours from where we live. I am fine with it, but I'm tired of hearing how great she is. What can I do to keep the peace in my house, wife of a transplant?
That's actually that's kind of like legit, man. I can see how this would really be like something that would happen like that.
The pettiness. Can you imagine? I can just picture. I can hear her. I can hear her. If you bring up this bone marrow ass bitch one more time in my house, is she cooking bone marrow? Is she sucking your bone marrow ass dick? I can just hear her.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Okay, so yes, but it also really depends on how much does he really talk about her.
That's my question, because here's the thing. It's all he ever talks about every single minute of the day. There's no way that's true, right? There's no way that's true.
I mean,
if I got a bone marrow transplant, I would probably bring it up for a while.
I bring it up a lot, for sure.
I might dine out on it, even though no one's dining out right now. But you'd hear about it. I wish that I was the kind of patient who's like, what have you been up to? Oh, well, I hit the store and we took this nice day trip. Did I mention my bone marrow transplant? Oh, I didn't? No, you will know in advance.
That's like your whole life. Yeah. It's like your whole life experience at that time. Yeah.
I got hit by a car once, and telling the story and over again made me a stand-up comedian. It would have a profound effect on the trajectory of the rest of my life, just how much I would talk about that bone marrow transplant.
So what we're saying is it's possible that he really did talk about it every minute of every day. It's possible.
Because it's a bone marrow transplant, not because he's trying to bone someone's marrow.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait a second. We can't make that assumption, all right? He could have been a no good dude before the whole bone marrow thing. Got the sympathy from the bone marrow transplant. And then now he's trying to go across town to meet somebody. We don't know this guy.
If I'm being honest, this feels like the last straw. This doesn't feel like 28 years of bliss and then suddenly she's tired of hearing about this bone. Like, this feels
she
like...
was ready for him to die. She thought this was over.
She's mad. She found a match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's mad he survived.
That is... She was so happy 28 years that life insurance is finally coming in. Oh, I think you hit the nail on the head. He's a smoker. There's no way he's getting the... Oh, man.
He's just over there. That old positive ass bitch over here. Just like, get out of here.
I have to be honest. I don't... No. So I have a fiance, and if she were to get a bone marrow transplant for someone, I'd be very grateful, right? I'm not a match, whatever. She gets one, I'd be very grateful that she's still alive. And if she wants to meet that person, by all means, I would like to meet that person and say thank you by mistake, 100%. The idea that she's like tired of how great, and it's how great in quotation marks she is, right? So this is like I don't know if this is jealousy or just, that is.
It could be rooted in like really deep and like tangled like insecurity.
Yeah.
That's built up over time. So like, or the guy could have cheated before.
Yeah,
there's also that.
Or a plot twist. She was a match. Did she let somebody else be a match?
I like I like how she puts great in quotes. I have a whole question over that. Like,
yeah, how great she is. Ooh, why?
Are you implying that she's not great, or are you just saying that he literally keeps saying she's great just all day? She's great. She's great. She's great. Like, what is she saying?
She gave him the gift of life.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt on one point, that if she felt like, you know, she nursed her husband through this and there was some, like, she really wanted to help as best she could, and then some other woman had what he actually needed, that might feel jarring.
That might be like hard
weird.
Yeah, that's very true.
So lightweight, but I cook for my sweet lady all the time, and if she ate a meal someone else cooked and was like, "Oh, I've never been nourished," every meal for the rest of our lives, she's like, "Do you remember that time I ate someone else's food?" I'd be like, "Yes, I do. I actually do remember that. I do. Now that you mention it, I remember. Yeah, yeah."
Valid. Oh, you've turned me around. Now I'm kind of on this lady's side a little bit.
But allow that vulnerability, or you're not going to move on from it. Admit that, you know, it actually hurts that I wasn't the one who could help you. And as your wife, it's scary that, like, you had to turn to someone else. It makes, you know, whatever her feelings actually are, you got to say them, or you're going to end up manifesting it in this jealousy over, like, he took liquid from her bones. Like, this is not like you found a number in a matchbook or something else.
Right. Yeah. Also,
there's an intimacy there that you can allow for without it threatening your own, as long as you address your own confidence within your intimacy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Also, what are the chances? You ever see one of, like, there's been like 100 movie, like, horror movies of, like, oh, you got a serial killer's hand transplanted onto your body and now it's trying to choke people. Maybe when you get bone marrow, it comes with a little bit of horniness for where the bone marrow came from. Is that? No? Okay, that's fine.
No.
How mad would you be? Isn't that a hall pass? Can we just universally say
I feel like
that whoever donated a vital life juice or organ to you for your survival is a hall pass? You are allowed, if you so choose and they so agree, to bone down with that person.
Here's a little twist on it. I would say, more to the point, you're almost required. If that person comes to you and goes, "Hey, you know, you got my bone marrow. I'm glad that's really working out for you. I really want you to suck my dick."
I might need, like, I'm okay. I'm gonna have to do that.
I kind of have to do that. Like, once we're even Steven after that, but, like,
I'd be like, "Can you clean it first?"
Yeah. We're gonna need. There's gonna be showers and stuff. It's like, you're not gonna.
Can you clean it first?
Yeah. That seems fair, but, like, you owe that person something.
To do that and then brag about it, though, all day is like is a bit much, though.
It is wild to, like, yes, you're a piece of shit if you show up with that energy, obviously, because you didn't establish that quid pro quo in the beginning. Like, before you take this marrow real quick, we're going to need to come to an arrangement. That is maybe something you bring up.
It's like that man.
Honestly, you're describing the future of the American healthcare system.
Yes,
it's going to be Facebook Marketplace, bone marrow for blowjobs.
GoFundMe is out. It used to be GoFundMe's. That's going to be done. It's going to be 100%.
Instagram stores of red blood cells. That's what it'll.
Oh, all right. One more letter, and then I think we're going to wrap this one up. Tell me what you think about this. One's maybe a little more on the serious side. Here it is. I was at my brother-in-law's house with my husband and our 4-year-old daughter. We were playing our weekly video game. When my brother-in-law won a round, he shouted a racial epithet. I asked him not to use it in front of my little girl because if she repeats it at school, she could be suspended, and we don't use that kind of language in our family. Now he claims I disrespected him, and I should apologize to him because it was his house, and he can say what he wants. He doesn't have children of his own. Who is right here? Is it okay to say whatever you want because it's your house, or is it better to use some censorship when there are children around? Signed, Wondering in Wyoming.
Okay, I'm just going to say, as the whitest white represented here, that there is one sorely unanswered question presented in this letter.
Yes.
That, I mean, I'm sure that there is a conversation to be had outside of the answer to that question, but there is one quick clarification that would make known whether or not it would be appropriate at all. You did say Wyoming, so there are some assumptions I can make.
Sure.
But if that brother-in-law is white,
you can't
even in your own house. Shut up. No.
I have a lot. Well,
no.
We can assume everyone here is white because they said shouted a racial epithet.
Because they wrote to Dear Abby.
They wrote to Dear Abby. 2, shouted a racial epithet. That's not how a black person would say nigga. My point. Here's my question: how racist are you when you yell the N-word when you win a video game? What is that's a celebratory N-word? That is very weird.
It's like niggas.
Yeah. So weird.
Is that what it was like?
I have won so many. Like I have almost lost
Mario Kart.
Is that what it was like? Like what does she mean?
When you
Yell
pull
the racial epithet.
When you pull off a Mario Kart win at the last second, you get that like the slide boost and you catch that. I could see someone yelling nigga, but like there's going to be an in your face. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be like something preceding. It's not just the word, which is very weird.
I know, but like everybody defaults to bitch, and like that's just what we do. Like it's just normal. Like that's what everybody does, and everybody's just kind of like okay with it because bitch can be. It's like it's gender neutral now. Mm-hmm. Bitch is gender neutral now. For a while, it was really offensive to women, but I swear it is gender neutral now. Anybody can be a bitch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I say bitch to men way more than I for women. And if I'm in an argument, if I'm trying to like, if it's getting heated, I love calling a man a cunt. That is like this. If you drop the C-bomb on a dude,
it hits different.
It hits different. And I'm not British, so it's not the same thing. But if you call a dude the C-bomb, you're almost fighting.
Sometimes you gotta get there.
You woke up and you chose war that day.
I have another question for this conversation. I don't know that I fuck with the writer of this letter either, because her reasoning is that her kid might get in trouble if she repeats it. That's why she's
bad.
Okay, so that's some bullshit. You talk to your fucking kid. Talk to your fucking kid. Like, like, come on. Be like, hey, don't be racist. What he said was racist. What he said was racist, and don't be like that. And then if the kid has any questions, answer them. And then that's it. And if the kid still chooses to say that shit at school, I think we got to get old fashioned and maybe kind of like smack that kid around a little bit. Like, just don't be fucking racist. Like, just teach your kid like to not be racist and that's it. And then you don't got to worry about them hearing racial epithets. If you teach them that racism is wrong, they're going to hear it and they're going to be like, oh, so that's what that's like. It's wrong.
That it is very strange that the most progressive and the most aggressive people in this letter are middle school Wyoming kids. It's like, okay, this is the benchmark here.
Right.
For what's right, you know, this is bad news.
So we can all agree: don't yell the N-word when you win a video game or lose. Either way, let's just not yell the N-word. I do have one question. What about this man's argument? What about this man's argument that it's my house, I'll say what I want?
He's just an asshole.
You're a piece of shit. Not saying you're not a piece of shit,
but he's just an asshole.
Don't go to his house, right?
Yeah, like he's just an asshole.
Oh no, you invite a guest, you have to welcome that guest.
Yeah,
you're a host. A host has responsibilities to accommodate somebody they welcomed into their home. That person they came out of their home where they're comfortable and they're willing to come to yours where you invited them. So no, you have to accommodate to your guests, at least to some respect. You also have to be respectful as a guest. And like, it is the whitest thing in the world to teach a kid that saying a word is bad instead of having a conversation about racism. It's exactly what. Good job passing that on to another generation. Oh god.
Right. Good job not talking about the real problem again.
Yeah. And how is
like
it?
You invited a child in your house and you are playing a game with them, which means that you have to play on a child appropriate level.
Absolutely.
As in not winning the video game. We knew we had a red flag when you had a person winning the video game.
Oh yeah, bitch!
Like you're a grown ass person. That PS4 is yours. You let Junior, like you go, stop and wait. You help them over the line. Like it's just all red flags all over the place. But no, a host. If you ever feel the guest, or a host that to a place where you were invited ever makes you feel bad for being there, that is not on you, the guest. I don't think.
No, that's true. That's very true. Sometimes I got to play a little devil's advocate to get to the right answer. So that worked out. I like it. Carlton, you look like you had something to say. Was it what I was about to say, which is fuck kids, I will beat you at any video game? Because one, real talk, you got to learn how to lose. That is an important lesson as a child.
By being screamed at by your
no.
I'm not saying you gotta then call that little kid the N-word. I'm not saying that. I am saying that you do need to learn how to lose and accept loss as part of life and not like be a sore. There is nothing worse than
video games do that on their own by making it hard, and then you die, and then you have to do it again. You don't need a grown adult being like, bah! And then,
exactly. It's like, look, I already tried and lost. That's enough.
Oh, I'm a terrible person then, because there's been plenty of little basketball games with little kids, and that shit goes over the fence every time. Just
yo, man, how many siblings do you got? You got any siblings?
I'm an only child.
I'm the oldest of 7. Yeah.
Sometimes the whole enjoying kids suffering can come from being like the youngest, because they all made you suffer and laughed at you. So now when little kids suffer, I'm like, because that's all they did to me.
The real reason I was going to say that I would if I beat a kid at video games he has to take at is because I will never beat a kid at
Kids are really good at video games.
Yeah, they're really good.
Me at everything.
I have never beat a child. I have played any number of video games like online, which by the way, that's where all the N-words are yelled. But like, they're better than me, and I'm terrible at video games. I'm that like guy that just runs into the wall in the back corner. Like I'm not good. So if I do beat a kid randomly, they're gonna have to take that L because I need this, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I need this.
All right, guys. Well, this has been the most fun. Thank you so much. Let's get some plugs. Carlton, anything? Where can people find you on the internet? I'm sure you don't have maybe shows coming up. Maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't have shit.
Nobody does.
You can find me at plug what? What is plug?
No, here's what all I was gonna say was the plug section of this podcast is constantly the bummer. We're having the most fun and everybody's laughing and it's like, hey, what you got to plug? Fucking nothing, man. Nothing. Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet at smile_Carlton. And if anybody has a bedside end table, please give me that shit. There you go.
There you go.
Caitlin, where can we find your store and all the goodies?
GuaranteeShirts.com. I think they're cool, and I hope that you like them. Guarantee Shirts on all the socials.
My fiance liked them very much. So
good.
I'll probably be getting at least one of them for Christmas.
Jackie, where about you? Where can we find you? Where can people see your wonderful music?
I'll just go to my website, JackieVenson.com. That's Venson with a V.
JackieVenson.com. And is the ACL somewhere streaming that people can watch? I know it was already out once, but
you can find a couple of songs on YouTube right now. But I'm going to actually upload the entire set as in the form of a live album. It's going to come out on Christmas Day on the streaming services.
Awesome. Definitely keep an eye out for that. I am at Chris Cubis on all social media, so you can find me at any of those. If you want to write to us and ask us a question, it's badadvicepc@gmail.com. Please leave us a little review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. It helps people get eyes on the show. You guys, this was so much fun. Thank you. I love it. We will see you next week, everybody. Later, y'all.